Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Hare Krishna everyone, and thanks again for joining day 8 of Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. Our sincere thanks as usual to Prabhuji, Satchitananda Das Prabhuji, who has been giving us such a detailed and deep explanation of the verse 1.1.1 for the past 4 sessions. So this will be the 5th session on verse 1.1.1. So as all of you would know, last Friday was the beginning of a very auspicious month, Purusottama Masa. As per the instructions, one must involve oneself in spiritual activities, which is Shravanam, hearing, Kirtanam, which is chanting or glorifying Krishna, and Smaranam, remembering Krishna always. So in today's session, Prabhuji will also be briefly speaking about the Mahatmya of Purusottama Masa, along with the Bhagavatam verse 1.1.1. So we request Prabhuji to commence today's session. As usual, the session will be for approximately 2 hours. And if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, you are welcome to bring them forward at the end of the session. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Sucharuvakramandalam Sukarnaratna Kundalam Sucharitayanga Chantanam Namami Nandanam Sudirganetra Pankajam Sikhi Sikhanda Murdhajam Ananga Koti Mohanam Namami Nandanam Sudirganetra Pankajam Sikhi Sikhanda Murdhajam Ananga Koti Mohanam Namami Nandanam Suna सिकारमोक्तिकं स्वच्छन्ददन्त पङ्कितं नवाम्बुधाङ्गचीकणं नमामि नन्दनन्दनम् करेण वेणुरञ्जितं गतिकरीन्द्र गञ्जितं दुकूलपीत शोभनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनम् त्रिभङ्गदेह सुन्दरम् नखाद्युति सुधाकरम् अमूल्यरत्न भूषणम् नमामि नन्दनन्दनम् सुगन्ध अंग सौरभम् पुरोज्विरासि कौस्तुभम् स्फुरश्रीवत्सलञ्छनम् नमामि नन्दनन्दनम् वृन्दावन सुनगरम् विलासनुग वाससं सुरेन्द्रगर्व मोचनम् नमामि नन्दनन्दनम् व्रजाङ्गण सुनायकम् सदा सुख प्रदायकम् जगन्मोहन प्रलोभनम् नमामि नन्दनन्दनम् श्रीनन्दनन्दन अष्टकम् पठेद्यः श्रद्धयान्वितः करेद्भवाम्बुधिदुष्टरम् लभेत् तदङ्घ्रियुगात्मकम् ओ नमामि नन्दनन्दनम् नमामि नन्दनन्दनम् नमामि नन्दनन्दनम् नमामि नन्दनन्दनम् हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे राधे जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे राधे जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे राधे जय राधा रमण राधा रमण राधे राधे जय राधा गोकुलानंद राधा गोकुलानंद राधे राधे जयो दादा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे राधे जयो राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे राधे जयो राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे राधे जयो ललिता विशाखा जयो राधे श्याम जयो ललिता विशाखा जयो राधे श्याम जयो कृष्ण बलराम जयो वृंदावन धाम, जयो कृष्ण बलराम, जयो वृंदावन धाम। नवनीरदनिन्दित कान्तिधरं रसो सागर नागर भूपवरं शुभवङ्किमचारु शिखण्ड शिखिं भज कृष्णनिधिं व्रजराजसुतं। जयो राधे जयो कृष्णा, जयो वृंदावन, जयो राधे जयो कृष्णा, जयो वृंदावन। श्री गोविंद गोपी नाथ मदन मोहन, श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड, गिरि गोवर्धन, कालिंदी जमुना, जयो जयो महावन। जयो राधे जयो कृष्णा, जयो राधे जयो राधे, जयो राधे जयो जय श्री राधे, जयो राधे जयो राधे, जयो राधे जयो जयो श्री राधे। जय प्रभुपदा, जय प्रभुपदा, जय प्रभुपदा, श्रील प्रभुपदा। प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace Abhay Charna Aravind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace श्रीला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर जगतगुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace श्रीला गौर किशोरदास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace श्रीला सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर जी की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace श्रीला जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। वृंदावन के षड गोस्वामी श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ की जय। ब्रह्म मध्व गौड़ीय संप्रदाचार्य गुरुवर की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। बोलो श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। बोलो श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। बोलो श्री मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। वियोगिनी क्षेत्र श्री राधा वियोगिनी क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, समावेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। पुरुषोत्तम मास, सर्व पवित्र पुरुषोत्तम मास की जय। सर्व पुरुषोत्तम पवित्र पुरुषोत्तम मास की जय। भक्त अग्रगण्य मास श्री पुरुषोत्तम मास की जय। समावेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the acharyas, all glories to all the Vaishnava acharyas, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to all the assembled Vaishnavas. So today is Sunday, September 20th, 2020, and we will be, as per the announcement, we will be continuing with the Srimad Bhagavatam, very first verse from the first canto, and today will be our fifth session. But before I do that, I would like to glorify Purshottama Maas. So today is, since this last Friday, we had made the announcement last Sunday as well. Asimkar Prabhu had made that announcement that starting this just past Friday, 2 days ago, the Purshottama Maas has begun. And it is most auspicious to describe the glories of Purshottama Maas, especially what to talk about in Purshottama Maas itself. So I would like to briefly give the Mahatmya or the importance of Purshottama Maas. It is extremely important. This month is considered the most auspicious of all the auspicious months that are there. Every month of the year there are 12 months, and every month, according to the Vedic, the nomenclature, they're all different names that are given to those months, and especially they are related to the names of Krishna. And this particular month, Purshottama Maas, is not different, but it is permeated with immense potency of Purshottama Maas. Purushottam means Purusha, Uttama means the best amongst the beings, which is Lord Sri Krishna. That is one of the names of Sri Krishna. So a little bit about Purshottama Maas. Purshottama Maas, actually, it occurs every 32 months. So after 2 years and 8 months, to just understand, and what is the reason we have this 13th month after a period of 32 months that repeats every time after 32 months or after 2 years and 8 months. After 2 years and 8 months, we get the 13th month known as the Purshottama Maas. So the reason that our Shastras explain that according to the Vedic system, the solar system, the sun revolves around its orbit, and so does the moon. So we have a solar calendar and a lunar calendar. We have both. The Vedic calendar comprises of both. And because the sun has a higher speed than the moon for rotation on its orbit, it completes the 12 months faster in one sense. And the moon takes about an extra whole month to complete that orbit, calculating the time. So just to understand this is basically the 13th month is given so that it adjusts the sun and the moon's speeds so that there is a compromise and it will give a balance in the Vedic calendar. So every 2 years and 8 months, we have an extra month, which is the 13th month. Now, the history goes as follows. in the Vedic system, we have everything is personified. This is very important to understand, and it's important for me to kind of highlight this point. Like everything that we see, like say we see the sun. So the sun has a sun god, and his Krishna has also given his name. That time when Krishna originally spoke the Bhagavad Gita millions of years ago, in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, he tells Arjun that it is not the first time that I've spoken Bhagavad Gita. I've actually spoken this Bhagavad Gita to the personality, the king of the sun planet, and his name is King Vivaswan, Raja Vivaswan. And so like that, there are different personalities that are controlling a particular planet or a particular part of this creation. So there is Chandra, there is Chandra Dev, or there is Moon God, or the king of the moons. So for example, the personified king of the rains is Lord Indra. The personified king of the oceans is Lord Varuna. So like that, there are all, like there is personified, like the rivers. We pray to Mother Ganga or to Mother Jamuna, but they are also personifications. They are all expansions of Srimati Radharani. Jamnaji is an expansion of Radharani. Jamnaji is actually the sister of of Surya Dev, and she is the daughter of Yamraj. So if those who all have known, especially those who are in the Pushti Marg, I know Pankit Prabhu, they sing this Yamnashtakam in Pushti Marg every day. Namoste Bhagini Sutam Katham tu Hanyanaptapi. I offer my obeisances to the the uh, the the uh, sister of Surya, Yamuna, and Bhagini Sutta, the daughter of Yamraj. So I offer my obeisances. So she is a person. So all these different rivers, they are persons. So like that, the 12 months, there is respective personalities for each month. And so when the 13th month appeared, at that time, all the 12 months, in a way, they became extremely upset at the 13 months, and they started abusing her, the Devi of the 13th month. The 13th month Devi, and they started saying that, oh, you are the cause of, the imbalance and this and that. And there were so many abusive words that were spoken, and she was kind of ostracized. She was not accepted by the 12 months in harmony. So she was extremely despondent. She was very, very sad. And also she was given the name Malamas. Mal means dirt. Mal means something that is not very pure, something that is inauspicious. And they said that anybody who performs any kinds of activities in your Malamas, they will only obtain inauspiciousness. This is what the other 12 months they labeled her with such condescending attitude and degrading words. So being so sad, the Malmas, she approached Lord Vishnu. And when she approaches Lord Vishnu, she surrenders to him and says, Vishnu, this is your creation. And, I'm being treated like this in your creation. Why is it like that? So Vishnu, understanding her pain, she said, come with me. And Lord Vishnu personally takes her to the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna, Nanda Nandan, Yashoda Nandan, Radha Gopinath, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Gokula Ananda, Radha Damodar, Radha Shyam Sundar, just to name a few of those beautiful names of the original personality of Krishna in Golok. Vishnu personally takes Malmas and says that, the best person who can cure this problem of yours, of this defamation, is Sri Krishna. Let us go there. And then Lord Vishnu takes Malmas to the Golok Vrindavan, the topmost planet amongst the spiritual worlds. And she actually hides out of shame. She actually does not when Krishna comes, Nandan comes, she's hiding behind Vishnu because she is feeling so ashamed that everybody is rejecting her. And that generally happens when somebody is being ostracized, when somebody is being rejected by society or by the mass. That person feels very dejected and very sorrowful and extremely shameful. Whether or not that person has done something wrong or not, that stigma plays in the mind of that person, and due to that stigma she hides behind Vishnu. And then Krishna, with a very manda muskan, that is the sweet smile, it is called smita. I don't know how many of you all know, we hear the word smita, it is sometimes given, the name is given to a female. That is the name, we hear the word smita, right? So smita means basically a very slight sweet smile, and that is the proprietary of Sri Krishna Nandanandan. Whenever Krishna is about to speak something, or sometimes he's going to be very naughty, he's going to do something where it's going to be very amazing, he displays that sweet little manda muskan, that smita, that very soft smile. He will display that. And that means we have to understand that something very special is going to happen. So he displayed the smita, or the manda muskan, or the sweet little smile on his face. And then he tells Malamas, Devi, come out, please, don't feel ashamed. You have not done nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, and then she, when she hears the sweet words of Sri Krishna, she surrenders to Krishna, and she tells Nandan, what should I do? I don't know what to do. Can't even show my face to everyone. They are saying that if anybody does any kind of work in this month, it will be spoiled. It will be completely have a very adverse effect. It will be very inauspicious. Whatever work they do, Krishna says, do not worry. And your name is not Malmas henceforth. I am giving you my personal name, and I am Purushottam, the best amongst all in the creation, the best amongst even all the incarnations. And no wonder we see that even Lord Vishnu surrenders to Krishna. He goes to Krishna, some things that even the other avatars cannot do. Nandan, the Purna Purushottam Bhagwan can do. Even something that Lord Ramachandra, who is known as Maryada Purushottam, even he has a certain limitation, he cannot do. Some of the examples that immediately comes to my mind, of course, they are all very powerful. They all have the same potency. Like Brahma Samhita describes that the original deepa, or the original lamp, has the same, and when the original lamps lights another 100 lamps, the other 100 lamps have the same potency as the original lamp. But the original lamp is the cause of the other lamps being lit. So he is Sarva Karana Karanam, and that is what we have been studying in this very first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We have been studying the Janmadi Asya verse, the first two words of the Srimad Bhagavatam, for quite a bit in detail. We have been studying how the different worlds and how the different emanations, the different avatars of Lord Krishna, how they emanate from Nandan, from the original Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna. So we have to study these scriptures in order to understand, and we have to hear it from the right source. Otherwise, we will be mistaken. When we were in school, we learned in history that Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu, which is so wrong. These historians, neither they have learned anything properly in spiritual subjects from the proper source, or in the proper parampara, or in the proper disciplic succession. And they have taken a lot of the stuff from this historians from Britain, and they are the ones who used to write our history books and then presented us according to their own lens, according to their understanding. And it had a lot of political agendas hidden, even in those messages that were being taught to in the innocent children in the schools, that were being taught in the English literature and the geography books and the history books, that were tinged with the East India Company or the supremacy of the British Raj. And it was perfect in their own respect how they presented the glories of India, contaminated them. So that is the reason we have to hear Shastra as it is. Bhagvat Suno, Bhagvat Sthane. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has warned One should listen scripture from the right source, from the perfect Bhagavad. And we are fortunate to hear the message of Srimad Bhagavatam as it is from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada's wonderful treatise, the Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam, that he has so gracefully and mercifully produced in 18 cantos, in 18 volumes of the 12 cantos, 18,000 verses translated word to word, and then wonderful transcendental purports, Bhaktivedanta purports. So, like this, when Malma surrenders to Nandan Krishna in Golok, he becomes pleased and he says, from now on you will be known by my name. You will not be known as Malmas, the mass or the month of, of, uh, of pollution, or the month of inauspiciousness, Mal, or the month of dirt. You will be known by my name. And not only that, I empower you with all the transcendental potencies that I have. Amazing. Sri Krishna gives this benediction. Nandan, Yashoda Nandan, Golok Krishna, he gives this benediction to this Devi, the 13th month, and calls from now on, your name is Purshottama Maas. So, like this, there is actually a katha, a Puranic history behind the Purshottama Maas. What is that? So during the five Pandavas, when they actually were visiting the Vraj Mandal, and at that time they had also visited Kamyavan. Those who have visited, actually Vrindavan comprises of 12 forests. So Vrindavan being one of them. So like that, there is one more, there are 11 more forests. So one is known as Kamyavan. So in Kamyavan, Krishna had amazing pastimes that he performed. Like some of the pastimes was like last time we explained in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, how when in the particular words of the Srimad Bhagavatam, that Muhyanti Yat Surya, that even the greatest of the demigods or the Devi Devtas or even the devotees are Muhyanti. They become illusion or they become delusion by Krishna's potency, Maya, and by Krishna himself, that it is very extremely difficult for even the greatest of the demigods and even sometimes the greatest of the devotees to understand. And we give three typical examples in that katha that we had explained, that how even the great Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu, the great devotee Lord Shiva, also became so enchanted by the Mohini Swarup of Sri Krishna, and how Indra mistook the Supreme Lord Krishna, the 7-year-old boy who lifted the Govardhan hill, as an ordinary boy, and he wanted to destroy Vraj, he wanted to destroy Govardhan, and he sent thunderbolts trying to destroy all those devotees, Vrajvasis, and underestimating Krishna, the Supreme Lord, and Lord Brahma himself. He was delusioned, and he thought that Krishna, this young boy, in doing picnic in Kamyavan with his friends, he's trying to grab a half-eaten laddu, a piece of sweet from the mouth of his friend Madhumangal, and they are fighting. What kind of a Lord is this? So like that, he kidnaps all the cows and the cowherd boys and the calves for 1,000 years and puts them in a cave. And all these wonderful pastimes were done in Kamyavan. Kamyavan is very, very well known. So those who have visited, or those who will be visiting Vraj, please indeed go to Kamyavan and take the blessings of Kamyavan. So the Panch Pandavas, they had actually gone to Kamyavan, and at that time, it is said that they had the darshan of Lord Sri Krishna, and then they asked Krishna, why is it that we have to go through all these sufferings and pains? Please tell us, and then Krishna starts narrating, one of the reasons why, or one of the main reasons why there was so much suffering. They said there's so much suffering even to our wife Panchali, to Draupadi. Why does she have to suffer so much? Okay, we were the ones, who probably made this big mistake of gambling with Duryodhan, and losing everything. But what about Panchali? What about Draupadi? She comes from such a affluent royal family from the Raja Drupad, and look at how she is suffering with us. So Krishna, please. So then Krishna starts narrating a Puranic katha, where he mentions that there was a Medhavi Brahmin, and he had a very small daughter, but this Brahmin's wife had passed away when the daughter was still very, very young and small. And then the father and daughter, they actually kind of lived together, and she grew up with under her father, but without a mother actually. And then um, once she saw, and the Medvi Brahman was very poor, and she saw that some of her friends, as they grew up and they became the age of getting married, they got married very nicely, and she was the only one that was left behind. And sometimes she used to lament, tell her father, "Father, why am I not finding a good husband?" And father used to say, "Everything will happen in good time." And then in a little bit, as time passed a little bit more, father grew more older, and he also passed away. Now this young daughter of the Brahmin was left all alone. And at that time, it is said that Durvasa Muni visited this place. Actually, Durvasa Muni, it is said in this Puranic Katha, in this history, that uh, he was a friend of this Medhavi Brahmin. So the father of this young Brahmin's daughter was the friend of Durvasa Muni. So he happened to stop by to see his friend, but he learned that the friend had already passed away, and she was very devastated, the daughter. So then Medhavi Rishi, his daughter, was told by Durvasa Muni, "Why don't you do one thing, that very soon uh, Purshottama Maas is coming. So you take advantage of that, and you follow it very nicely and strictly, and all your desires will be fulfilled." So she is so, sometimes when a person is so very sad, very despondent, sometimes that person also is very angry at the Lord, or even God, or is very angry at even dharma, or anything to do with spirituality, angry with providence. So she said, "Huh, Purusottama Maas, what Purusottama Maas?" And she starts mocking Purusottama Maas. She starts saying bad things about Purusottama Maas. She starts saying that, "Oh, this Purusottama Maas is also known as Mal Maas. Rishivar Durvasa ji, it is Mal Maas. Anything we do in this month is bad. That's what I've heard." So Durvasa Muni was immediately, he was very upset, hearing her mood and hearing her kind of, say bad things about Purusottama Maas. So he almost was about to curse her. Durvasa Muni is very, very well known for his anger and for cursing. And the famous, katha is there in Bhagvat about how he cursed the great devotee of Sri Krishna, Amrish Raja. And then, the result was pretty bad. It kind of boomeranged on him because of committing an offense at the lotus feet of a great Vaishnava like Amrish Raja. So Durvasa Muni almost wanted to curse her, but then he said, "No, forget it." He controlled himself. That is kind of very uncharacteristic of Durvasa Muni, because once Durvasa Muni is upset, finished. You don't want to be in his crossfire. Nobody wants to be in his crossfire. So, but Durvasa Muni somehow or the other controlled himself, and he said, "Okay, you know what? If you don't want to believe in this Purusottama Maas, why don't you sit in meditation and uh, just meditate on Lord Shiva?" So that she kind of agreed. And she sits in meditation, this Brahman Putri, for 9,000 years. Uh, and Lord Shiva is pleased with her. And when Lord Shiva is pleased, and he appears in front of her and says, "You have done a lot of austerities. Hey, Brahman Putri, what do you want? Ask me for any benediction and I will give it to you." Now, sometimes it happens that sometimes when we want something so bad, especially materially speaking, we are always constantly thinking about that. If somebody wants a house, or some money or some material benefit. Excuse me, Haribol. Constantly they're thinking about that. And Hare Krishna. And when Lord Shiva appeared, the first thing that came to our mind is when Lord Shiva says, please ask me for any benediction and I will grant it to you. So she said, Pati, 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 Pati. 5 times she said that. Like sometimes, when somebody is stressing something, they repeat the same word or the sentence again and again to lay stress on their message. So then Lord Shiva, he said, Tathastu, in your next life, you will get 5 patis. She said, no, I didn't mean that. I said, I just want a nice husband. But you said 5 times. So I said, okay, Tathastu, I grant you 5 husbands. So Lord Krishna narrating this, that is what Draupadi was. She was that Medvi Brahman's putri. She was that Medvi Brahman's young daughter who got this benediction from Lord Shiva for 5 husbands. So now but she said that please, only one good husband. But Lord Shiva says, what I have said, benediction is given once, as the arrow leaves the bow, it cannot come back, the same arrow. Similarly, my words, of such great personalities are like, they cannot be retracted. They cannot be reversed. So he said, I'm sorry, but, you'll have to accept it. So then she is born to Drupad Raja, a very, very affluent king. And then, obviously, through Kunti Devi's little pastime where they win the Swayamvar, and they said, Mother Kunti says, distribute whatever you have. Look what we've got, and distribute it amongst 5 of you. So then Lord Shiva's benediction, there actually turns into fruition. And then, they could not even take back the mother's words or the mother's blessings. So they all actually, very uncharacteristically, the 5 Pandavas ended up getting one wife, Draupadi. So it is due to the certain curses and about the certain past sins. They had to go through what they have gone through, the Pandavas and also Draupadi. So Krishna then suggests that why don't you all, now Purshottama Maas is also coming very soon. So he tells the Pandavas that you should follow this Purshottama Maas very strictly. And then the Pandavas, following the instruction of Sri Krishna, when the next Purshottama Maas came, they actually they actually followed the Purshottama Maas very strictly, and then they got all auspiciousness in their life. Of course, they had Krishna with them, and also obviously they won the battle of Kurukshetra. So Purshottama Maas is extremely beneficial to devotees. It is so important. It is like it is said that sometimes, if I give you an analogy, like let's say if you get the latest iPhone for $10, would you grab it? Of course you would grab it. If you would grab a fine car like a Porsche or a Ferrari for $1,000, would you grab it? Yes, you would grab it, right? And if you're getting gold is sitting at right now almost at $2,000 an ounce, and if somebody gives you gold at, let's say, $100 an ounce, would you grab it? Yes, you would grab it. You would take advantage of it. So similarly, for devotees, this is the perfect chance. At a very deep discount, we are getting the benefit that the Purshottama Maas gives us. It is said there are several benefits of Purshottama Maas. What is it? It is said that out of the 12 months, the Kartik Maas or Damodar Maas is the most auspicious amongst those 12 months. So whatever spiritual activities we do in Kartik, whether it is chanting, hearing, reading, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, any kind of spiritual activity that we perform in Kartik is multiplied 100 times, 100-fold. But the benefit of Purshottama Maas is that it gives us 1,000 times the benefit of Kartik. Yes. So can you believe it? What a deep discount we are getting. So that means if one chants one round in Kartik of Mala gets the benefit of 100 Malas. But if one chants one round in the month of Purshottama Maas, which is rare, it comes every 2 years and 8 months, you multiply that 1,000 by 100 times. So how that will be 4 zeros of 1 and 2 zeros of the 100. So that is 6 zeros. So 100,000. One mala is equivalent to that much benefit we can get. Then some of the benefits of Purshottama Maas and what we should do is wake up in the Brahma Muhurat early in the morning. So the benefit of when one takes a Brahma Muhurat snan or a bath, Brahma Muhurat is about an hour and a half before sunrise. We get the benefit in Purshottama Maas as taking a bath in a Kumbh Mela. So Kumbh Mela is extremely rare. So if one takes bath in Kumbh Mela, it is said that liberation is guaranteed. And so it is like that one snan in the Brahma Muhurat in the Purshottama Maas is equivalent to Kumbh Mela snan or the bath in the Kumbh Mela. All our sins are eradicated, past and present, one who, with the benefits of Purshottama Maas. And the rivers, all the holy rivers, it is as good as, in Purshottama Maas, we get the benefit of taking about 12,000 times in the holy river. So let's say one gets the opportunity to dip themselves 12,000 times in the Ganga, the Jamuna, or the Kaveri, or all the pure, the holy rivers, we get 12,000 times the benefit. Wow, that is amazing. And Valmiki Rishi says that one can get actually the benefit of 100 Ashwamedh Yagyas. That is also very amazing. Ashwamedh Yagya, if you all know, it is like the white horse sacrifice. It's sacrifice in the sense that when an emperor wanted to prove his supremacy, he would let go a white horse after a huge yagya, feeding the Brahmins and a lot of Brahmins chanting the mantras. And then that horse is let go and freely. And then a huge army follows behind the horse. And then through whichever other small and big kingdoms they go through, if the horse is inhibited, not stopped by any other kings, then those kings automatically accept the supremacy of the emperor or the Chakravarti Raja. But if somebody stops the horse, that means they are challenging the emperorship of that Chakravarti Raja, of that emperor. And then there would be naturally there would be a yuddha or a war. And in the war, it could happen that king obviously would the king would be defeated by the emperor, and then he would have to surrender unto him. So we see even in Ramayana, if you know, that Lord Ramachandra performed that Ashwamedh Yagya, and at that time, or through the horse went through all the kingdoms and all the different kings automatically. They just put their crowns down and they accepted the emperorship of Lord Ramachandra. But when it went through very close to the ashram of Valmiki Rishi, where Mata Sita was sent into Vanvas by Lord Ramachandra due to the unfortunate incident of the story of the dhobi or the washerman, and how after that Lord Ramachandra banishes Mother Sita. Of course, there is a very transcendental secret behind it, but it's for another time. But then Mother Sita, who was at that time pregnant when she was banished, and she actually came under the shelter of Valmiki Rishi, and Valmiki Rishi had at that time two twins were born, Love and Kush, and they got all the Vidya, transcendental and also material, the martial arts and the Dhanur Vidya, etc., in the ashram. And at that time, when that horse came, they stopped the horse, and they wanted to, and then at that time a fight ensued between, and Lakshman was defeated by Love and Kush, and even Lord Ramachandra was surprised. So So it is like, one can get the position of an emperor. 100 Ashwamedh Yagyas is a very powerful, anybody who can do 100 Ashwamedh Yagyas means he's a very, very powerful emperor. So according to Valmiki Rishi, in the Purans, it is mentioned that one who perfectly follows this Purshottama Maas will get the benefit of 100 Ashwamedh Yagyas. And then it also very quickly pleases Sri Krishna. So whatever spiritual activities we do, Sri Krishna is very quickly pleased. And that is the essence of bhakti. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilinam Tat Bhakti Uttam. That bhakti is considered uttam or best when one pleases Sri Krishna. And Sri Krishna is very, very easily pleased amongst all the other 12 months. Actually, he's pleased in Purshottama Maas. And in the 12 months, the Kartik Maas pleases Radharani the most. Actually, some people think that the Kartik Maas is the Maas for Krishna. No, it is actually known as the Urja month. And it is the month, Urja means Urjeshwari Srimati Radharani. And it pleases Radharani the most when one follows the Kartik Maas very nicely. So, but there is a very, very nice tricky situation. If Radharani is pleased, then Krishna is automatically pleased. So I would say that personally, I have a feeling, I can say that even if one, knowingly or unknowingly may have not done Purusottama Maas, but has done Kartik Maas, then, I think Purusottama Maas, in my personal opinion, from a Rasik point of view, if Radharani is pleased, millions of Purusottama Masses will be pleased. But from the Mahatma point, this is very true, the facts that I'm stating. So sometimes, the rasa or the Rasik devotees have certain different angles or visions of how to see stuff. So, and then we will be describing that in the, hopefully today is the last session of the first verse about the Rasik angle of the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam Janmadi Yasya, and how Vyasdev is actually, from the Rasik point of view, how our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas are describing this verse. So, and also it is said that one who strictly follows this Purshottama Maas gets the benefit of going at the end to Golok Vrindavan, so which is beyond Vaikuntha. So, some rules on how to follow the Purshottama Maas. Now, some can follow it to the T very strictly, some cannot. So try your best. Even if you're not able to do all, at least do one. If not one, there are about 10 to 12 different things that we should, follow very strictly in Purshottama Maas, actually with some subtopics in it. But see, whatever you can, try your best. It is best to, whatever I described earlier is for those who follow it very strictly. All the other benefits that I had mentioned earlier, the different benefits that I mentioned is that it is 1,000 times more powerful than Kartik. It is like taking, one takes a bath early in the morning in Brahma Muhurat, one gets the benefit of the Kumbh Mela. All the sins are eradicated. It is like taking a bath 12,000 times in the holy rivers like Ganges and the Jamuna. And Rishi Valmiki has stated that it is equivalent to 100 Ashwamedh Yajnas. It pleases Krishna very nicely and also quickly. And also it gives us Golok Vrindavan, the original dham from where everything emanates, where the residence of Nanda Nandan, Yashoda Nandan, from where everything emanates, Janmadi Yasya. Again, the first verse, the first couple words of Srimad Bhagavatam, the first couple words of the Vedanta Sutra. How to follow? Now, in order to follow this, we have to wake up strictly in Brahma Muhurat. So waking up an hour and a half before the sun rises. And what we should do is, of course, take a bath and chant the holy names. Nothing like it. That is the most important part amongst all the strict one may follow, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We must strictly follow the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and in sitting in one place, chant minimum 16 good rounds. The more we can, the better. But that, so somebody who is very smart can say, oh, anyways, it is multiplied by hundreds of thousands of times. So why should I chant 16 rounds? No. One should not circumvent the instruction of Acharya Prabhupada. So if you chant minimum 16 good rounds, then you can imagine, you multiply that at least by 1,000, you're getting the benefit of 16,000 rounds every day. So chanting of the holy names, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as mentioned, one of our great Gaudiya Acharyas in our Gaudiya Sampradaya line, he has mentioned that it is 3 stutis to be sung, eulogizing Sri Krishna in the Purshottama Maas. So some of the stutis, like we sang today after the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I sang the Nanda Nandan Ashtakam that was compiled by Rupa Goswami. So very nice. So any stutis, nice stutis, yet eulogize Sri Krishna, the Jai, like for example, Jai Radha Madhav, etc. So we can sing any 3 stutis or 3 nice prayers that describe the glories of Sri Krishna. Bhaktivedanta Thakur has explained that that is a very good way of pleasing Sri Krishna in Purshottama Maas. This is how one should follow. Every day, like in Kartik, every day a ghee lamp is, we offer it to Krishna. Similarly, we should offer it every day in the Purshottama Maas. And also, what else we should do? Hear Hari Katha. You know, that is the reason why I took some time today to explain the glories of this Purshottama Maas. Whatever Harikatha we will be speaking and whatever Harikatha you all will be listening, whether it is through me, or through any other lectures, spiritual lectures that you hear, even if it is on the internet, doesn't matter. Hear it every day. Hear Harikatha every day. And that is one of the requirements to perfectly follow the Purshottama Maas. Offer tulsi leaves to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Every day one should offer in the Purshottama Maas. And different shlokas should be recited from the different scriptures. One of the important things that to follow in Purshottama Maas perfectly is to recite chapter 15, known as the Purushottam Yoga of Bhagavad Gita. One should recite that. It takes about 10 minutes. It doesn't take that long in chapter 15 to recite those shlokas. And also it is mentioned in the Puranas that one who strictly follows the Purshottama Maas, one should actually sing Jagannath Ashtakam. Amazing. When I first heard that, I was like, really, wow. I was really wow. Jagannath Ashtakam. So Jagannath Ashtakam should be sung every day in Purshottama Maas. And then according to one's Shakti, Yatha Shakti, according to one's ability, one should give in charity in Purshottama Maas. That will also be multiplied. Or any kind of pious activities that we do in Purshottama Maas, they will be multiplied by 1,000 times. But a word of caution, any kind of impious activities that we perform will also be multiplied by that same factor of 1,000. So we have to be very, very careful. And some of the don'ts in Purshottama Maas, we should not even in our dreams commit any Vaishnava aparadh, commit any offenses towards any Vaishnavas. Sometimes we are upset, sometimes we say so many things about certain persons, but still if they are doing some kind of spiritual life, be very extra careful not to speak ill of them. And especially for pure Vaishnavas, no blasphemy. So there is no Vaishnava aparadh. One should control the anger, no violence. And please do not consider this Purshottama Maas. Do not be complacent. It is not ordinary. Because Sri Krishna Golok, the Krishna from Golok, Govinda Madi Purush, Nanda Nandan, Yashoda Nandan, has personally blessed this month with all the potencies. And also some of the foods that we should refrain from during Purshottama Maas is that we should fast from, we should not eat eggplant, brinjals, baigan, no tomatoes, no loki or the white squash or any kind of squash, no urad dal. Urad dal should be avoided. Anything made of urad dal, so dahi vadas and all should be avoided because vadas are made of urad. Or papad should be avoided. Honey should be avoided. A tal or sesame seeds, til should be avoided. And mustard seeds. So matas who are cooking, use jeera in your cooking. Don't use mustard seeds. No mustard seeds should be used. No rye. And no mustard oil. So mustard oil should not also be used in this month. And especially those who are brahmacharis and those who are sannyasis, they should not be shaving uh, uh, neither their beards or even cutting their hair in the, and even cutting their nails. So the whole idea behind this is less bodily needs, because the time we spend in cutting our nails or cutting our hair or shaving, that much time, that much more time, even if it is 5 minutes or 10 minutes, spend more that much time in hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. So this is, of course, to hear it, it is very easy, but sometimes it's very difficult to perform. So try your best to do this as much as you can. And next Sunday is Ekadashi also, Padmini Ekadashi. It's one of the Purshottama Maas Ekadashi, is very auspicious. So again, this factor will be multiplied. And again, we are fortunate that next Sunday we will be speaking Harikatha and hearing Harikatha. So this is very amazing. So do not try to miss. We have the opportunity, we should grab it. Just like somebody, if they say, I'm going to give you a genuine latest iPhone 12 that is going to be announced very soon by the Apple company for only $50. Do you want it? Arey Baba, I will grab it. I will give it to you right now. Give it to me. Or a Porsche car or a Ferrari, you're getting only for $1,000. A car that is tagged at $300,000, you're getting it for 1,000. Would you want it? Yes. So let's be intelligent. For material things, our brains work very fast. Our calculations are very fast. If I put so much money here, this is in so much time, it will be so much. And then, or if I put it in the bank, they are offering the best interest rate. And if I put it in the post office or I put it in some kind of a annuity, I will get so much interest. And after 5 years, so we all started calculating so many things. So we should keep this in mind that, through our faith, our acharyas, the Puranas, the Shastras are saying that the kind of benefits that we will get through this Purshottama Maas is unbelievable. We are getting a very, very deep discount that is unheard of, and it is untrue, just to hear, but it is very, very true. So all glories to Sri Purshottama Maas ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Purshottama Maas ki Jai. Purshottama Maas ki Jai. Purshottama Maas ki Jai. Hare Krishna.